Okay. Jump on here a few minutes early. Well, 1 minute early. All right. All right. Looks like I'm on. Looks like I'm on. I'm gonna try something here before I roll the opening title. I updated all. I like to jump on here a minute early to get everything set up, folks. All right, my first chat of the night. Corpus says, greetings all. Greetings, Corpus. Now, hopefully I'm on YouTube. I guess so. I don't know. It's weird. YouTube changed a lot of stuff around, so I don't even understand how it's. I don't even understand it anymore. I just don't know. Okay. It looks like everything's okay here. Okay. Oh, wow. We got comments already. John says, hello from New Jersey. It is horrible here. Oh, that's not good. Well, hopefully it'll be pleasant here as we start the show. Hey everybody, this is Brian Hogue. Welcome to the Chiller Night Live pre-show. Today, May 2nd, 2020. This is the 12-year anniversary of of Jack Shadow, being a horror host. So we'll be talking about that tonight. So that's kind of cool. Now let me catch up with some of these comments here. Ava says, hello all. Raymond says, Corpus. Ava says, I can see you, Tom. I can't. There's a shock, huh? Glam's probably on here too, and I can't see her. I'm going to try something here on YouTube. Now, hopefully I don't get kicked off. I'm going to hit this. Fingers crossed. Okay, I was trying something to see if I could see the screen. YouTube has changed. Like, I don't even know how to do this anymore on YouTube, but geez. Just when you get comfortable with something. Remember MySpace? Wasn't it MySpace? Remember that? Everyone knew how to use it, and then all of a sudden it's just like, they're just throwing stuff and changing it every week. It became totally unrecognizable, so everyone went to Facebook. John says, why, hello again. This is the typed word from Crozak the Grand. Well, hello, Crozak the Grand. Thanks for joining us. Let's see. Hey, Raymond. Everyone's saying hi and hello. Tom, Raymond. Hi, Glam Fangs, John says. So Glam's here. Glam, I'm so sorry I can't see you. Or Tom. I can't see him either. That is so weird. Cassandra says, hi, everybody. Hi, Cassandra. All right, everyone's saying hello. Oh, Dale says, hello, Brian. What's the flick for tonight? Oh, I will show you in but mere moments, Dale. David says, champagne popped and served. Cheers to Jack Shadow. All right, thank you. Corpus says, happy anniversary, Jack. All right. Ava's clicking the glasses. All right, Dale, the schedule for tonight is 9 o'clock. The movie is The Last Man on Earth. 11 p.m. Chiller Chat. My guest is Joshua D. Maley. 11:30 Chiller Night Theater. The movie is Terror Creatures from the Grave. And 1:30 a.m. Chiller Chat. My guest is Michael Smith. And 2 a.m. Chiller Night Theater. The movie is Horror Express. Now, one thing about the guest here tonight, Joshua, Maley and Michael Smith are both independent filmmakers. So we talk a little bit about their independent movies, and with Joshua, he also writes. So we'll talk about some of his writing. And let's see. Clayton says, "All right, let's get the party started." All right, Clayton's here. Clayton's in the house. And then Corpus says, "I'm assuming Glam is on YouTube." Yes, yes, Glam's always on YouTube, and or mostly on YouTube, and I just can't see her. Brian Ivor says, "Congratulations on 12 years." Oh, thank you. And Carrie says hello. Hey, Carrie, thanks for joining us. Hey, Emmanuel. Hey, hello, everybody. Happy anniversary to you, Brian, and your alter ego, Jack Shadow. Well, thank you very much. And Raymond says, "Last man is good." And then Clayton says, "Quiet, Tom, or I'll slap you into next week." Yeah. Yes. Speaking of alter egos, that's funny. All right, folks. Yes, that's what's coming up at 9 p.m. The Last Man on Earth. Vincent Price, of course. The movie that influenced Night of the Living Dead, George Romero making Night of the Living Dead. Really good movie. It was the very first movie that I ever played as a horror host back in 2008. First Saturday of May. Actually, back at that time, it was May 3rd, but it was 2008. So this is my 12-year anniversary tonight, being the first Saturday of May. So, but I want to thank Stream TV right there, and you can find those folks there at streammedia.tv, and that is what hopefully you'll be watching Chiller Night Theater and Chiller Chat on. And then I want to thank Paranormal Warehouse at paranormalwarehouse.com, and the Dead Vault. The Dead Vault, and that's from Scott Paulson, who does the Chop Block TV. You can check out the Dead Vault on Facebook. They have a Facebook page. Chop Block TV, of course, they have a Roku channel. You can hop on there and join their Roku channel and watch shows like Chiller Night Theater and many, many others to choose from if you like a lot of a big variety of different type of horror themed shows. So check them out. And of course, yep, see that? I put a little cover on that mic because of the glare. But Vicelli Pizza and Gross Fest. Always want to thank those guys. They've been sponsoring the Friday Night Fright shows, and we'll have one coming up this month. I'm not real sure as to whether it'll be. Well, it'll probably be the 15th. I'm going to throw that as a big probability. It'll be the 15th. Emmanuel says, "Hello, Glam, thanks. Hope you and yours are doing great." Yes. And then Corpus says, "Okay, Clayton, tell Tom I can only see him when I'm tagged." Ah, okay. And Carrie says, "The governor is still scaring us." Oh, where are you at, Carrie? Which governor is scaring you? Tell him to stop. Should only be scared by a lot of things to be. Strange days, isn't it? Clayton says, "I would if he weren't so ugly," referring to Tom, I guess. Yeah, hey, Clayton, you don't talk about Tom like that. Hey, Manuel, I see what you mean about the glare. Looked like a UFO. Yeah, look at this. See, if I take this off, I don't know. It's just, to me, you can see the studio lights and all that good stuff. Oh, maybe a little. There we go. There we go. It's a skull. That's what it is. Thought that was kind of appropriate. The Angry Pennsylvanian. "Hey, peeps," or "Hey, peeps," he says, the Angry Pennsylvanian. "Sorry I've been going so long, sitting by the fire pit with some drinks. Hope all is well and everyone is safe." Well, that sounds like a nice evening. Absolutely. Carrie says, "The Wolf Man." The governor is still scaring us. The Wolf Man. I don't know who that would be, but he just better knock it off is what he ought to do. So tonight, folks, is the 12-year anniversary. I figured Brad says, there's Brad. It's a Chiller Night pre-show of Brian Hogue, starring Brian Hogue. Now here's Brian. Happy anniversary, Jack Shadow. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate that, Brad. I had some pictures. I figured I'd go down memory lane and talk a little bit about, how this all got started and everything. Not an overabundance of that story, that backstory, because I know you guys have, some of you have heard it often enough. A. Emmanuel says, one flew behind you on the screen. You got ET on your chat tonight. What, the UFO? Dale says, I have a Roku and downloaded the Stream Media TV app and nothing ever downloads on it. What am I doing wrong? I don't know. You went to, well, let me ask you, did you go to the website? Did you go to streammedia.tv? Because that's where you have to go. There are other, I think there are other, I might be wrong about this, but I think there are other stream TVs on there. Could be wrong, but I think I've looked and saw them on there before. If you go to that website, streammedia.tv, that's the one that you want to, connect to. Get the code and connect to that. If you did go to that site, I don't know. Maybe I'll message you afterwards and see if there's something that the station manager can do to get that fixed. I don't know. That's all I can tell you. But I hope that works out. Hope you get that fixed. Emmanuel says, I swear to God, I saw one at least. I think I did. What? Oh, what? A UFO? Is that what you're seeing? You got ET on your chat tonight. There could be. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's all on here. It's kind of a weird thing because I can't see who's watching. Maybe that's what you're referring to. I don't know. I can't see who's viewing it. I used to be able to when I was only on Facebook because you see who's popping up. John Smith popped up and is watching or whatever and joined you. But when I'm on Restream, the Restream chat room, I can't see any of that. So, all right, we're playing. Oh, we're playing to Carrie Edwards, the Big Bad Wolf. Oh, is that the Wolf Man? Okay. Okay, Clayton says you have to force an update on your Roku. Oh, is that it? You have to force an update on your Roku. Okay. I don't know exactly what that means, but there's an answer right there. If you know what that means, then try that. I'm not sure how you do that, but there you go. And then Emmanuel says, yes, I saw a UFO. It flew in the background. Honest. Sure. And then Carrie says, Cassandra, I'm in Ohio. Oh, so it's not the wolf that I somewhat suspected. All right, so well, anywho, let's see. I figured I would go on a little stroll down memory lane because tonight is. Dale says, "Okay, I'll try it again." How do you force an update? I wish I knew. I wish I knew what that even meant. I don't know. Maybe Clayton can give you some type of insight, or maybe you can Google that. I don't know. I've been fortunate though, since we've first connected to Stream TV's Roku channel. We've never had an issue with it. So fingers crossed. That's one of the few things I've not had an issue with technical wise. So count my blessings. Corpus says, wow, having a hard time keeping connected on here tonight. I hope that's not a widespread thing. I hope that's just not that it's, I don't want it to sound bad. I hope it's just you and not everybody. Let's see. Carrie says, I'm just visiting. I don't live here. Oh, in Ohio tonight, huh? Okay. Not too far away from where we are, from where we're at. We're neighboring state of Pennsylvania. But 12 years ago tonight, we played the very first, the show at that time was called Sleepy Hollow Theater. And this picture right here, if you've ever seen, well, if you watch Chiller Night Theater, you'll see this face right here. And it was also on our t-shirts. That was kind of like the logo for the show, whatever shows Jack is hosting, Sleepy Hollow Theater, and then it later, about 7 years later, switched over to Chiller Night Theater. That's the face you see at the very beginning of the show. but that's been with us since the very beginning. I think we've had that since the very beginning. And The Last Man on Earth was the very first show that we ever did. And I'll talk about that briefly. Let's see. Let's see. Corpus says, you don't have to distance here tonight, Corpus. You don't have to. David says, what are you drinking to celebrate tonight? Me, I'm more. I'm still probably just drinking wine tonight, or probably just wine. Going more for a soft drink, you know. So A. Emanuel says, I'm getting all Ian's fine. Chat, audio, the works coming in fine. Great, cool. Raymond says, that's why I go to YouTube sometimes. Oh, okay. And then Clayton says, I hope you have a clip from the very first show. I don't have a clip. I was doing a lot of yard work today and just didn't have time. I got some photographs, though. I got some photos. It takes a little longer for me to render out the little file for the clip, but Corpus says, replying, a white trash Russian. White trash Russian. Easy for me to say. You are drinking that tonight, huh? Okay. All right, so let me regale you with some pictures of our early show. Now this here is, I think this is actually taken from the very first episode we did. It was a little darker in the set, in the TV set, just a little darker, a little bit more confined. I guess it was like a 12 by 12 room, very small room at that time, and that's what we filmed the show in. You know, we still have the chair. That was the original chair, of course. Well, the only chair I've ever had. I've just kind of fixed it up over the years, and still have that little praying skeleton statue there, and a lot of the set has changed over the years as to, it's completely different than what you see now, and completely different location. We've had let's see, how many locations have we had? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've had 6 locations over the years. Wow. That is something. But that was the very first show. And I think that was from the very first show we were taking pictures. Here's a picture too of, now this is Bradley. Bradley was like, gosh, how old was he at that time? He's 16 now. So wow. That is just crazy how little he was back then. But yeah, look at him. Look how big that chair would be too to someone that age. He was like 3 or 4 back then, I think, when we first started this. He might have just turned 4. But A. Emanuel says, old Jack doesn't look like he's aged a day since way back then. Eh? No, it really doesn't. Brad says, now in 2020 here, hold my Corona, LOL. Yeah, right. John says, super dark and creepy. Dale says, I really don't know a lot about how streaming works. I was just curious as to why the Chiller Night Saturday movies are not on here. Please excuse my ignorance on this matter, LOL. Eventually, once I get comfortable, I would like to host watch parties, but that is when I get better and more familiar. Well, the reason why, let me go back to the camera. The reason why the movies aren't on here is because well, for now anyways. I mean, maybe down the road that will change. Maybe, you never know. Maybe this will actually be on Stream TV someday. Streaming. You never know. I don't know. But for now, this is just the online show, and not just, but this is exclusively the online show, and then everything else is broadcasted from Stream TV. This is just me doing my own thing, my personal thing. I'm 30 plus miles away from the TV station where all of that stuff is programmed So that's why this is separate. Where I say, at 9 o'clock, hope you go to Stream TV and watch it either on the website or the Roku channel, because everything, the shows actually stream from that TV station. They have it set up for the local TV station. I think it's Comcast Channel 20 in Oil City and the surrounding areas. It's on their local TV. Watch it online at streammedia.tv, or of course on their Roku channel. So it's on TV, internet, and the Roku channel. So, but Corpus says cheap vodka and Starbucks vanilla do enough damage. Vanilla ice cream would destroy me. Jack says, or John says, Jack is offering a Kenny to the Dark Ones. What? Raymond says, what about Kahlua? Oh, for the Russian drinks. Clayton says, copies of all the movies are hosted on YouTube. You can watch them there. Yeah, all the Chiller Night Theater ones on. I had Sleepy Hollow Theater ones on there as well, but once I started doing Chiller Night Theater, I took all those, I set them all to private, so yeah, there weren't too many directions to go, to find the show. I just wanted it under one title. So, and then Raymond says, or Corpus says, Raymond, it's a white trash Russian because I'm poor. White trash. Kahlua is expensive. Ah. Well, enjoy your white trash Russian. All right, so here's another look at, there's an old one too, an older one, I should say. I think this was back in 2000, I'm guessing maybe 2010, with Aura, the Witch, Jack Shadow, and Elle. That was Elle's earlier look when she was a zombie. The character used to be a zombie on the show way, way back when. And that was another set that we had put up to keep the show going. So here we go from that to this stuff right here in the actual TV studio down at Stream TV. So I normally don't show a whole lot of behind the scenes type of things, but I figure what the heck. I've done it one other time, I think, and I thought tonight would be kind of a neat night for that. Just looking at some of the stuff from back then. So, and then we'll say Corpus says when Ani money one. I don't know what that says. Money to burn or make a proper white Russian with Kahlua and good vodka. And Brad says, any movies for this Thursday, Corpus? And then I don't think this Thursday. I think it's the second and the last. If I remember from last week, it should be the second and the last. And Emmanuel says, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but ugly goes straight to the bone. Bypasses the eye completely. Clayton says, Corpus is having a stroke. Yeah. I hope not. Corpus is not this Thursday. And that's every other Thursday now. That's right. That's the new schedule for now on the Chiller Night Facebook group page. That's right. You did remind me of that. So that's I guess I should take a moment to mention that. That's right. It'll be the second and last Thursday of every month now, starting this month right here. So, all right. Dale says, I'm trying to force update to Roku to an update, but verbal force just does not cut the mustard. Yeah, Dale, I'm not sure how to do that. I really don't. I wish I did. And A. Emmanuel says, and tonight's schedule is, oh, you want to see tonight's schedule again? We can do that. Not a problem. You might, or maybe you hopped on there after I showed it, but that's not a problem. That's why we're here. And then Corpus says, shut up. to Clayton Boondang. Dang. All right. 9 p.m. The movie is The Last Man on Earth. Now, I picked that one tonight. Now, that one's back from 2016, before I ever got involved with Stream TV. So you'll notice the set, again, looks different. The lighting, everything is different there. But, you know, I love the movie, and I figured it was appropriate to show this one because that was the first one I did. Whenever I kind of relaunched the show, I did the very first show back in 2008, first Saturday in May. It was The Last Man on Earth. And then when I relaunched the show, I did it as I did The Last Man on Earth, and I figured, well, that's the one I'll show tonight. Not the best set and sound, you know, but you'll see the differences. But it's kind of funny because the Terror Creatures from the Grave at 11:30 is, of course, from the Friday Night Frights. That's a different type of set as well. And then 2 a.m. Chiller Night Theater, the movie was Horror Express. Now that was the very first one we actually filmed it with Stream TV and the set, with the set all put up. And of course at 11, for Chiller Chat 11 and 1:30, we have Joshua Maley and Michael Smith. So they're independent movie makers. They'll be talking about their independent films. So A. Emanuel says, "Thank you, sir." Oh, not a problem. It's like I said, that's why we're here. And John says, "Vincent Price is always a win." Yes, he is. I agree. So let me see. Yeah, over the years we've had. Oh, here's one of my beautiful bride, Ava, as Aura the Witch. And she's actually hosted the show before. She's actually hosted it a couple times back in the early days. So that's been a lot of fun. And I'm trying to think if this was from. I think this was from one of the shows. I don't think it's from the haunted house because we had like a black cloth behind, and then it just right off screen would be where the wall segments begin. So that was Ava with Aura the Witch hosting the show, which she's done several times in the past. And those were a lot of fun. A. Emanuel says, "Well, hopefully you can look back on the last 12 and be proud of what you've accomplished." Yeah, it's been something. There have been some times when, you know, I thought, well, you know, I'll just finish out the year here, and you know, we'll call it a wrap. I'd get to that point, and well, I'm still here, so you know the end of that story. So Raymond says, "Last Man's ending is full of pathos and makes me sad." Yes, I hear you. And that was even something that Jack had mentioned at the very end of that show. He made a comment like that. Maybe I can show you something next week on that. Clayton says, "Was that when you filmed it in a broom closet?" Oh, this one right here. Yeah, pretty much. I'm trying to think of when the other one was with Ava hosting, because it looks like the wall panels are not that far away. So I don't know if we were just putting those in. Maybe she actually wasn't hosting on that one, but I know she's hosted a few of the shows. This one right here, this set, it was crazy. This was actually in pretty much a storage closet. And I wanted the show to go on so bad. If you step just way off to the side, I don't know if you recall, there was on Chiller Chat with Samantha. Honestly, I was determined for the show to continue because we lost our studio space with the TV station at the time. Not because they didn't want us there. It's because they actually lost their entire facilities. So we didn't have a set anymore. And so we just got the show up and running, and it was going pretty well. And well, actually, I take that back. We didn't actually film that. We filmed Chiller Chat in the TV set. We filmed the other, this show, or this picture right here. That was actually in my haunted house, which was just a few buildings down from the TV set. So we just had everything set up in there. That's how I know the dimension was 12 by 12. Um, and so the crew just brought their lights and the cameras and stuff like that. And that's where we filmed. But uh, then I had to, tear everything out of that building, and I didn't have a set anymore because I didn't have access to that building, and not that one, anyways. And so I was like, okay, if we want this to continue, we'll just do it in my house. So we, I stuck. I will have to show you some pictures. I should have had everything lined up tonight, but I just didn't have the time. But that is in a very, very small room. It looks a little bigger because what I did was just to it's kind of an illusion in a way, or optical trick, because I have the chair sitting in the corner. Okay, so you have the chair, and then I have the wall panels actually going like this from the corner. Okay, I'm in the corner, and the wall panels are going out at an angle, and the camera is like right here, in the farthest corner that I could possibly. I couldn't even stand behind the camera. I had to set it, flip the screen, and just do everything with the remote. That's how that show was done for quite a while. It was just in a closet. It was in a storage closet, which was, a little larger than a regular closet, but smaller than a small room. And that's how we did it. And we had people that when you came in, it was your cue to walk in. You were up against the wall, and we had a piece of tape on the floor where you knew where you were standing, and you were out of frame, and you just took your step or half step into the frame. And it was so incredibly small. I have to show you some pictures of that sometime. It is kind of crazy to think that we did what we did, and now I have access to an actual studio, which I'm very happy. We went from that to, like I said, we went from that to this, having a lot of room and a lot of space to work with. So, and if I showed you more of the aerial view, you could see, which I've done here before, but I didn't think to load those pictures up. It's kind of neat because you're looking down from the second floor from the studio onto Elle's part with the casket and her wall background, and Jack's part's over here with his windows and his chair, and then over here on this side of the studio is the Chiller Chat set. So, it's kind of neat, kind of cool. Let's see. Dale says Fritz Lang masterpiece was Metropolis. Yeah. Yes, it was. That was a good one. Old one, huh? A. Emmanuel says that's one way to save money. Marry your co-host. Damn good idea. Yeah. Right. It's funny because we met. Ava and I met in that year's haunted house back in 2007, October. Well, after that, now listen, this is the timeline of how this went. Jack Shadow was a horror host already starting in 2006, 2007, and then right before the Halloween season in 2007, I'd already approached the local TV station about doing a Saturday night hosted horror show on their channel. It wasn't even going to be. I wasn't even going to be the host. I was just going to produce it and do whatever to crank these shows out. It's going to be a different host. It wasn't even going to be Jack Shadow. And then after the Halloween season, they had asked me if, again, it wasn't a condition of whether they were going to air the show, but they did ask me if I would consider having Jack Shadow as a host. And then, and I didn't really want to do that at first, to be honest, because I didn't know how that was going to be. Because Jack Shadow in the haunted house was a lot different than the Jack Shadow that you're seeing on the show. It was only after time when I started developing a little bit of more of a lightheartedness to him. But so I thought, well, do I want to ruin that character? Or I didn't know if it would ruin the character. I thought, do I want to take the chance of ruining that character? Because now I'm making him into more of a, like a Freddy Krueger type of humor type of, instead of that creepy, sinister, character. Now all of a sudden it was going to change a little bit, personality wise. So I had to figure out how that was going to happen, and it did. It did. It did. It worked out pretty well. So, but we did that. I started, and then we started. Okay, that we started filming the first segment as a test in April of 2008. We went to the set. Everybody, they brought in everything. So the very first opening segment was actually filmed on a different month, and then we filmed the show. We pre-taped it in at the end of April. So we had 2 days we were there actually filming that first one, and you can tell because the lighting was a little different. It was a little darker on the very first opening scene, the very first time you see Jack as a horror host, and because we had put fog, from the fog machines in the air. Not a lot, but it was still enough to where it was a little hard to see Jack, compared to what we decided to do with it later. But there was a lot of fun. It was kind of exciting because I remember Ava and I and her family all got together at the house, and we were there to watching the first show together. It was kind of neat. It was kind of exciting. But that was my first experience of being like on TV, on a local channel. Oh, I see. David Silvio says Fritz Lang was originally going to direct The Last Man on Earth. Oh, I see. And that's where Dale says that. Okay, about Metropolis. Eddie Manuel says, don't mind me. I'm just rambling on. What? Leroy Jacobs. Hey, for Horror Fam Jam, I'm now home and drinking and chilling. I like it. With you fine people. All right, Leroy, thanks for joining us. A. Emmanuel says, a chair sitting in the corner. Hope that ain't a childhood trauma coming on there. Yeah, facing outward. And then Leroy says, I don't see anything for some reason. I don't see anything for some reason. Oh, that's not good. But you can hear me though, right? That's weird. I wonder why. I have no answer for you. I wish I did. Clayton says, anyone else have the feed freeze back now? The what? The feed freeze. Oh, did it freeze up? Did this freeze up? Back now, he says. Okay. That is weird. I don't know what's going on. Maybe everyone's on the internet at the same time. I mean, what else do we have to do? So I imagine it's taking its toll. Leroy says, I'll just listen and drink. I can't see comments, but I'm watching. Oh, that's too bad. I wish I had a solution to that. Corpus says, I wasn't exactly freezing, but wonky for sure. Well, wonky is not good. Not when it comes to this. We'll have no wonkiness. Raymond says, my screen goes black with the wording error. Really? Oh, no. I wish I knew what was going on there. I hope it doesn't give out on us tonight. It's 8:37. We got quite a bit of time left. So Doc Dredd says, just stopping in to say, hey, can't stay. All right. Thanks, Doc. Thanks for joining us. And I don't know. He might even be gone by now. I just now saw the comment. David says, hi, Doc. Have a good night. Hey, David. Thanks for joining us tonight. Clayton says, hi, Doc. And then Corpus says, I had the error thing as well. Ava, are you seeing the error thing? Or any of the rest of you? That's not cool. A. Emmanuel says, you got a Hulk t-shirt on, or is that what they are called? Yes, well, I have the Marvel Comics Secret Wars. Remember from the early 80s? That's what this t-shirt is. Hulk and Spider-Man and all the heroes we've come to love and respect over the years. Leroy says, no worries, bro. Raymond says, this always happens to me on Facebook. Oh, does it really? Oh, that's probably why you're on YouTube, I guess, a lot of times. I don't know why this stuff happens. I wish I did. Corporate says it doesn't happen to me normally. Hmm. I don't know. I wish I did. I really wish I did. Now, the evolution of. Oh, Doc says I have that comic. Oh, do you? The Secret Wars? I remember having it too. The Beyonder. Um, David says I haven't seen it, but I just popped in. Okay, well, hopefully all of you are all most of you are not seeing that. I hope not. But yeah, Jack started out May 3rd, 2008, showing The Last Man on Earth. Today's the second, but it's the first Saturday of the month. Um, but that's what I started out playing. So I'm just gonna play that again tonight. I think it's appropriate. But Jack started out for the first umpteen years, but the first 7 years with a different mask. It wasn't until 2014 when I made a new mask. I have some pictures of me making the life cast. That actually is not the one I used for the mask, because the life cast used was on my face. So that was actually for a couple different masks I was making at the time. And then here I am making the mold for one of the masks, one of the life casts, I mean. And then, and that's quite a process right there. And then there is my sculpture of the mask that you see now. That's the one that I wear now. Down in the far left corner. But that's kind of showing the process of how that's done. That was sculpted directly onto my life cast, which is, if you look at that, well, all the sculptings are on my life cast. You can see it a little better in that center picture with the black foam latex appliance on my life cast, and then of course the bottom one is me wearing it. I mean Jack Shadow. So that's kind of neat. Now there's a little bit of a difference. I don't know if you can see that to that, or to, I don't know if you can really see it that well. Yeah, probably not. But there is a difference in the maybe you can see a little. It's a little. Oh, that has seen better days. Now, after a certain amount of time, the paint started chipping off of that mask, and I had like a dozen of those things that I had bought over the years. Once I knew that the character was going to be appearing reoccurringly, through the haunted houses I was doing, and through the show. So I kind of stocked up on them before they went out of production, because you can't buy them. You couldn't buy them as of, like, I think 2008 was the last time I was able to get on there and buy them. So they lasted for quite a while, several years. And like I said, I bought like a dozen of them because they didn't last that long. You glue them onto your face, and the paint starts chipping off. I don't know what kind of paint they used on that, but the type of paint I have now on a very soft foam latex appliance, it does pretty well. I mean, I retouch it every once in a while, but a little different. But Doc says, congratulations. Oh, thank you, Doc. Arthur says, no errors on this phone. All right, thanks, Arthur. Thanks for joining us. And then John says, have you showed the classic White Zombie with Bela Lugosi? Yes, I have. That was actually, Horror Express was the first movie that we taped with Stream TV. It was like a new era of doing Chiller Night Theater. It was when we joined up with Stream TV in 2000. At the end of 2017, October of 2017 is when we first started showing these programs with Chiller Night Theater. And then a little bit later on down the road, early in 2018, is when we made Chiller Chat into its own program. And then that's what you see now. Chiller Chat used to be its own segment on Sleepy Hollow Theater. We had that. We had the host. We had the co-host. There was a character called Professor Graves, and he was also giving commentary. and uh, we had we actually had musical guests. People would submit their videos, or there was a few times when a band would come down. Not a band, just a local magician. He would come down, musician, not the, and he would do a song. You know, we did that a couple times, but mostly it was people submitting their work, and then we would play that, you know, as a musical guest. And I was very ambitious at the time. You know, I really wanted this show to go somewhere and to make a noise with it. You know, I was kind of limited on my understanding of the cameras and technology, but I wasn't doing a lot of that stuff on those early days, the first year or so. And then over time, it was just something that, you know, more was put on me as far as, you know, if you want the show to continue, you know, which is what I did, you know, over the years. So we've had different people work on editing, and I learned through watching them edit. I would go there and and watch the editing taking place. So I learned a lot through watching that, and that's how I learned editing. And I did a lot of editing on the show. You know, when I took over completely editing the show, and then right after that, I did I did my wrestling shows, KICW and then DCW, Dark Horse Championship Wrestling, where I was editing that entire thing. So I had to learn quite a bit, you know. Um, A. Manuel says, "What is your wildest memory from doing this show?" I don't know about wildest. Probably, I mean, this stands out though. I mean, it really stands out as, you know, some of the slings and arrows, you know, was, I'll say a couple of them. One was, we were in a building with no heat at all during a couple of the years doing the show. And it was one of the buildings that I had put up for a haunted house, which was fine for a haunted house, but we had no heat in it. So now we were filming shows in the winter, and it was extremely cold in the building. And you can see our breath on some of these if you look close enough. And there's one that I should have put on here tonight. I didn't think about the question. You know, I didn't think beforehand, but maybe I'll put it on there. You can see the heat coming up off of Jack's shadow very clearly. It's extremely clear. But you know, the girls, there was Ava, and there was another girl at the time, played a vampire character. Malenka was one of the characters. But in fact, that's the one popping out of the casket at the beginning of the opening credits. That film, or that segment right there, and there were other segments, were filmed and in extremely, like, it was so cold outside, and it was the only day that we could go there, and we filmed several episodes back to back. So we were in there for a while, and I felt bad for the girls. You know, the ladies were, you know, they didn't have the, you know, the layers of clothing. You know, I mean, we were, you know, doing this over a light bulb. You know, over a light bulb, just to try to get some remnants of heat. And we were, you know, kind of passing around a brandy. You know, we were like, we gotta. This is bad. This is pretty bad. But you know, like, I'm always, you know, the show must go on, you know. So we did that. We, you know, the ladies, all, you know, Ava and Liz, they were real good troopers about it, because they had it the worst. They absolutely had it the worst. Like me, I had the hat and the wig and the, you know, and I think because I was the warmest, you could see the heat coming off of me the most. So, but that was one. Another one was in December, or not December, might have been December. It was in the winter of 2011, maybe 2010 or 11. I don't remember which, but we taped several shows, and the camera was set with no sound. You know, so something I joke around about, because you know, Iga, you know, you see in the movie, they didn't have the sound on for most of that movie, and they had to go back and redub it. Well, we had to go back and totally retape these episodes, which was a huge pain. It was a huge pain. I don't, you know, it's it's a task to get all done up, but it's also a task because we had other characters on the show, which is why I limit how many characters are on the show because of things like that. If there's a we have to do a reshoot, and that's the only time we've ever had to do that. Okay, but there were all these different characters on that show. Plus, we had a guest. We had a guest sponsor come in, for that episode. All these people had to come back in the winter, and refilm everything. So that was another thing, just David says, replying to John, that is one of my favorite movies. Oh, White Zombie, yeah, that was. I think Bella did an excellent, excellent job in that. That rivals his performance as Dracula, as far as I'm concerned. I think he did a fantastic job. Raymond says, Glam, A.E. Howdy, and on YouTube. And and A.E. Emmanuel. Howdy, Raymond. And did anyone else just see that UFO? Yeah, that was declassified this week. The Pentagon UFO video. So strange things. Although I wasn't really shocked by that one whatsoever, at all. But they did say that, yeah, that's a real tape. A. Emmanuel says, I better be quiet before I get sat in the corner. Nobody puts A. Emmanuel in the corner. Nobody. So we won't even hear of that. Barb says, can you play the movie The Crawling Eye? Can we ever? We actually have, Barb, and maybe we'll play it. Maybe I'll play that one again here coming up soon. Our version, we've played it on Sleepy Hollow Theater before, called The Crawling Eye, and then we just recently did it as, or is that the other way around? The Trollenberg Terror. I know it goes by both those titles, just like City of the Dead and Horror Hotel. But yeah, I can show that one fairly soon. That was one of our live ones that we did last year too. And then Clayton says, winters are cold in PA. Yes, who would have thunk it? Raymond says, Jack Shadow's paid his dues. Yeah, well, I have, and Ava, and Samantha, we all have to some degree, but yeah, I've really, yeah, it's been something. It really should have. Clayton said you should have dubbed them. Could have been fun. Yeah, right. Well, you can't see my lips moving, but the mouth. But with the others, so dubbing me would be easy. It would be really tricky trying to get Samantha and Ava. And there was another character on the show at the time, and then I think Liz was there for Malenka, and then we had a sponsor come in, and there was quite a skit with that sponsor as well. Leroy says, live and learn, bro. Love the story, though. Yes. Corpus says, 10-minute warning. Oh, is it really? Wow. This is, like I say, the fastest hour of the week for me. Raymond says, Bela Lugosi made great movies. Yes, he did. And John says, T-10 and counting. And then John says, do you think you can show Atom Age Vampire? That's another one we did. Yeah, okay, so The Crawling Eye and Atom Age Vampires. I'll remember that one. We have done those ones, but I can make sure that they come up here soon in the scheduling. And then Brad says, hey, China, leave those bats alone, LOL. Yeah. Well, speaking of bats and speaking of Bela Lugosi, what Ray just commented, the Devil Bat, we just did that one not too long ago. So, I don't know, those just reminded me of that. Another Friday Night Frights we did. Raymond says, does Samantha still partake in Chiller Night? She has, but the thing is, it's been a while because now this all goes back to last summer. I played some newer episodes that we did in 2019 with Samantha in them. But since July, I started working on my haunted house, so I wasn't doing any new shows. I just didn't have time. well, right after July, right after the haunted house season, I was tearing down that haunted house all the way up until December 20th. I was working on that. And then here we go with the winter, and then we start doing the Friday night frights, and the staying at home, social distancing. So we haven't been back to the TV station since then. But yeah, she's absolutely part of the show. We just haven't been there to film all that stuff. So as soon as things get back to normal, we'll be doing that. And then Clayton says, Devil Bat was awesome. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that movie. It was a good one. And Emmanuel says, thanks, Brian and everybody, for another fun and enjoyable chiller chat. God bless and keep yins all. And now here comes the movie. Yeah, that's right. It's coming up. So I'll throw that. Thank you, Emmanuel. John says, The Mummy and the Monkey played it with some comic sound bits added. Okay. And then here's the schedule for tonight. And then we'll be all on our way here. 9 p.m. The movie is The Last Man on Earth. 11 p.m. Chiller Chat. My guest is Joshua D. Maley. And 11:30 Chiller Night Theater. The movie is Terror Creatures from the Grave. And 1:30 a.m. Chiller Chat. My guest is Michael Smith. And 2 a.m. Chiller Night Theater. The movie is Horror Express. All right. Now Leroy says, hey, Brian, how about washing your martini glass for next Friday and cheers with us? I might just have to do that. David Long says, Ava, ever think of popping up in Friday Night Frights? I've tried to get Ava to appear. I've wanted to have Aura the Witch appear on the shows, but I don't know. I don't know if she's quite ready for the live ones yet. But I think it's, if you could just do it and have fun with it, have a lot of fun with it. Maybe not take it quite as seriously. I probably do a little bit just because I think of it as that performance is, but I still have, it's a balance for me. There's a certain degree of seriousness only because I want good quality, and there's a certain amount of laughing and goofing off too when he's like interacting with the viewers. So, but Raymond says later on. All right, we'll see you. Thanks for joining us, Raymond, and all of you. It is 8:56, which means in just a few minutes we will be. Hopefully, all of you will dash to your Roku devices and activate your Stream TV. Emmanuel says buffering. And then John says, see you next Saturday night and keep rotating the tapes. All right, will do, John. And and then Raymond's now on Facebook saying later Gators. All right, thank you. Thanks to all of you who joined me tonight and join me every night. So I hope you enjoy tonight's episode of Last Man on Earth. Again, this was before I got with Stream TV. It's a little rustic, but I hope you enjoy it. Great movie. Enjoy the movie. Enjoy the skits. And Corpus says it's movie time. See you guys on the other side. Cheers, cheers. And next week, 5 minutes. Okay, everybody, thanks. Thanks again. Have a good night. Have a good chiller night. And I will see you next week.